Okay, so this is some information from Unit 7. We're still in Unit 7. So remember yesterday we talked about if we talked about how to find the sum of the interior angles of any polygon. We also looked at some regular polygons and figured out how many sides they had if we were given um, the sum of the interior angles, and we also figured out what each angle would measure if it's a regular polygon, and we were given the sum or the number of sides. So today what we're going to look at is related to that, but here we're going to figure out if we're given each interior angles measure and it's a regular polygon, we're going to figure out how many sides the polygon has. Okay, so we're going to first use our formula that we talked about yesterday. So if you remember the formula, this is for the measure of an individual interior angle of a regular polygon. And what it says is take the number of sides, subtract 2, that tells us how many triangles we're dealing with, times 180 degrees, and then we divide that by the number of sides because the number of sides is the same as the number of angles. So if I use this formula and I go ahead and substitute in the individual angle measure, 120 degrees, oops, then I can solve that for n. So what I can do first, I need to get rid of that n. So I'm going to multiply both sides by n. And I'm getting 120n is equal to, I'm going to go ahead and distribute that 180. So 180n minus 360. And now I solve that for n. I'm going to subtract n from 180n from each side. And I'm getting negative 360 degrees is equal to negative 60n. Dividing each side by negative 60 gives me that n is equal to 6. So the number of sides is 6. So we're dealing with a regular hexagon here. Okay, so that's one way to do the problem. Now, if you recall yesterday, we also talked about exterior angles and how we could use that information. So we could also do this problem using the exterior angle. So if I'm looking at this diagram, again, 120 is our interior angle. So that means that it's a linear pair, or it forms a linear pair with its exterior angle. So I know that the measure of angle A is 60 degrees because I subtract 180 minus 120, and that gives me that exterior angle. So because it's a regular polygon, not only is that exterior angle 60 degrees, but all of the exterior angles measure 60 degrees. So what I can do is take the exterior angle sum formula and use that to figure out how many sides, how many angles there are, which means how many sides. So we remember that the exterior angles of any polygon sum 360 degrees. So I can take 360 degrees and I can divide by the exterior angle, which is 60. And that gives me 6, which tells me that there are 6 sides. Okay, so either approach is fine. You can use the formula if you like algebra more, or if it makes more sense for you to use the exterior sum and divide by the exterior angle, then that'll get you the number of sides as well. Okay, so let's try a few more. So let's take a couple moments to try these. So I can use either approach. I'll start using the exterior approach. So if this is the interior angle for one angle of a regular polygon, I'm going to get the exterior by subtracting from 180, which tells me 120 degrees is the measure of each exterior angle. So I'm going to divide 360 degrees by 120 degrees, and that gives me 3. So that means that there are 3 sides. That means this is a regular triangle, which means it's an equilateral triangle, equilateral and equiangular. So 3 sides. That's using that approach. Let's use the other approach, which is the formula. So 180 times n minus 2 divided by n is equal to 60 degrees. So I'm going to solve by multiplying both sides of this equation by n, and I'm getting 180. I'm going to go ahead and distribute that, n minus 360 equals 60n. Solving by subtracting 180n from both sides gives me negative 360 is equal to negative 120n. Dividing both sides by negative 120 gives me that n is equal to 3. This one, same approach. We'll use exterior first. So again, we'll get the exterior angle, which is 90, and then dividing the sum of the exterior angles by 90 gives us 4. So there are 4 sides. This is a regular quadrilateral. So I can do that the other way as well, using my formula. 180 times the quantity n minus 2 over n is equal to 90. Multiplying both sides by n gives me 90n is equal to 180 n minus 360. Subtracting 180n gives me negative 360 is equal to negative 90n. Dividing both sides by negative 90 gives us n is equal to 4. So there are 4 sides. Okay. So in class, I gave out a worksheet. I'd like you to complete that now. If you weren't in class, it should be attached there on Schoology. So please go ahead and work on the regular polygons worksheet.